Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's weekly roundup. I have a lot of kind of street and infrastructure updates. So let's start with Main Street. So we posted an image this week that I'm hoping is helpful. I know it's helpful for me. We have so much going on downtown, and so much of it is in conjunction with the state Department of Transportation that we wanted to put together a timeline that explains kind of when everything is happening. So the new thing within the last few months is the 2022 item, and that is using our American Rescue Plan Act funds to do what we're calling a refresh, which we will be milling and overlaying the driving lanes and seal coating the parking lanes, and that's from First to Market. That will happen yet this summer, kind of early fall. Then we have 2024 or 2025. Again, this is dictated by the state, the Main Street Bridge replacement. And then 2028 from Church to Market is the complete reconstruction. So that's curb, gutters, sidewalks, infrastructure underground, and then the roadway. And then honestly, I feels like maybe this spring sometime, DOT kind of approached us and said, well, we might as well finish this project. So how about in 2029, we do from Market to Irene Street. So those projects are on that image, and it should be, as best we can, stick to around those years in case, of course, something happens and changes or DOT changes. But that is the plan for Main Street as we know it now. The Main Street Task Force has been meeting for easily over a year and doing surveys. We've recently started doing surveys to business owners so we can start to learn more about where their entrances and exits are, if they have rear exits for customers to go in and out of when they get deliveries. So we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to do the best that we can to support our business community during these interruptions downtown. In addition to those being DOT projects, there are two additional DOT projects that have come into the area recently, and these are not projects that we ourselves are in charge of. So one is obviously the Highway 16 overpass. We are sharing updates from DOT as we get them. And a new one that's come up in the last maybe week or so is another area of Highway 16 over by the frontage road by the middle school. And this is discussion, I believe, around a roundabout. So again, not projects that are being run by the city of Watertown, they're state projects. And as we receive information, we'll do our best to keep everyone updated. On the streets that are in our purview, I wanted to provide a quick update. So Dayton Street is largely done. And I'm saying largely done because if you drive over there, there's maybe like a 2-block area that hasn't been resurfaced. Of that area, that section of road had the best surface when we began construction. And this was sheerly a budget decision. So we knew that we wanted to do the whole road, but we needed to make sure that we had the financial capacity to do so. So we did the work that needed to be done. And now that we're a little bit later in the season and that project has wrapped up, we know that we should have enough financial capacity to finish those two kind of blocks, if you will, of Dayton Street to get resurfaced. So that will happen yet this year. We have placed temporary pavement marking tape on that street, and it's because the pavement marker will come. So it's temporary just to make sure that we can designate turning lanes, but the epoxy pavement marking company will come through and do all the pavement marking around the same time. So just be patient with us on that one. We have started doing some patch prep. So the paver will come, which means we're going to start doing pavement patch preparation. So our street crews will be doing that. So please watch for them in the roadway. And then we are working on East Main Street over by Oak Hill Cemetery and the middle school. So again, we've put down kind of initial surface on the roadway. Now we'll begin working on the retaining wall that will support the sidewalk, and then we will come back and completely resurface the rest of East Main. So I know it's a lot, but that project in particular is going to be so worth it in the end. So please just continue to be patient, and please watch for our crews if you're traveling on that road. Last on infrastructure, that we've been applying for just a ton of grants. When I was on the city council, we applied for some, but we've really started to uptick these last few years around the amount of grants that we attempt to get, but those grants come with a lot of work. So I want to give a shout out to our engineering division and everyone in public works that's been working on the bipartisan infrastructure law grants, and in these two in particular, which are our TAP grants. So we applied for 2 grants. One is a study pertaining to repairs needed to the Tivoli Island Bridge, and the other is a bike and pedestrian kind of community plan. So both of those are an 80-20 cost share, the state paying the heavier share of those expenses. Elections. So the election is coming up on August 9th. This is a partisan primary, which means if you're going to vote, you're going to select a party in which you'd like to vote. And then on the ballot, you will vote then within the political party that you selected. So this is a little bit different election than, all the other ones that we do throughout the year. So if you're looking for more information, please go to myvote.wisconsin.gov, or you can go to our city Facebook page, and our clerk has done a great job of kind of explaining what this election in particular is. Early in-person absentee voting is happening now right here at City Hall through our regular business hours for now. So if you're interested in doing that, please make sure that you bring your photo ID. Reminder for Text My Gov. So last weekend we had obviously some severe weather that was coming through the area. It was really in Dodge County. And I know I got an alert on my phone from the city of Watertown from dispatch through Text My Gov. So this is a great way to get reminders and alerts about things that are happening in the community. We had a water main break. We would send that on Text My Gov. So go right to the city homepage, and there's a pop-up in the bottom left corner that will tell you how to get enrolled. So I would encourage you all to do that. And you can use it as a way to communicate with us without having to make a phone call. So if you want to say there's a pothole on my road, you can text that in. Where do I find forms for park rentals? You can text that and we'll send you a link to how to find those forms. So it's a really nice, efficient way to communicate with us. So I'd encourage you to sign up for that. If you did installment plans on your taxes this year, please be reminded that the third installment is due on July 31st. You have a couple of ways to pay. You can obviously pay in person during our business hours. You can use the night deposit drop box. You can send it in the mail, of course, or you can pay online, but there is a service fee for that. We continue to work on housing and housing of all kinds. Nearly every week we're doing something with housing. We have a couple of housing projects in the works right now that I'm excited about. And internally this week, we received a grant from the Greater Watertown Community Health Foundation to do some work with us on housing preparedness and housing accessibility. And what we're doing with that report this week is we went through the entire report and talked about which items we were going to propose for implementation in the near future. So if housing and kind of our regulation around it is of interest to you, please watch our public meeting notice. We'll be talking about that at an upcoming Plan Commission meeting. On the recreation front, we are opening up for the fall. We've already obviously opened soccer, but youth flag football for grades 4 through 6 is now open. And then ballet and dance class for ages 3 to 14 is open. There's a ton of other interesting classes like beadwork classes. I know there's a gentle yoga class. So please check out the Park and Rec Facebook page for more info. And then last, on the library front, I hope you've noticed the big blue chair has been painted with a butterfly. It's a beautiful painting, and they've done it in the way that children can stand on that chair and then kind of have that wing look going out from both sides. So it's a really neat photo opportunity. And then I also want to share that they are doing snake discovery on Monday, which my boys would love. So we'll have some snakes and other reptiles in the library on Monday morning. And then Reading with Rover is on Thursday. And then kind of an adult version of Reading with Rover, but it's Reading with Rhoda, who's a retired greyhound racing dog for adults, will also be next week. And that's, I believe, you'll have to check the library Facebook page for what day it is. I don't want to be wrong on the date. And then last, on next Thursday, the 4th, the Library Garden Tales Farmers Market returns. So this is the evening farmers market right in the First Street parking lot. And they run that market until October 20th, and that's from 3 to 6 p.m. So please check that out. It is due to be a beautiful weekend in Watertown, which are my favorite. As a reminder, the Watertown Aquatic Center is closed tomorrow on Saturday, but there are a million things to do in this city. So get your reservation for park rent or for equipment rentals in, paddleboards, kayaks. I know we just put a new book out at the Storybook Trail. Obviously, tons of outdoor opportunity for you this weekend. So have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you back next week.